This expedition is for a range of projects. So there's 4 different projects, one of which is my PhD, and 3 others which are mainly about commercial species, fish that we like to eat for food. And this expedition is about the juveniles of those species, where they live and the conditions that they live under. And then also later in the lab, we'll look at how fast they've been growing while they're living in those conditions. So where they live, why they live there, and what is the best conditions for them. So today we have Asbjørn, who are responsible for skippering the boat, our safety, and getting us where we need to be. Aurelia, who's recently joined DTU as a master's student, and she'll be looking at goby diversity. So we're taking the opportunity to use this trip to look at some of the non-commercial species as well. And then we have Ole, who's been at DTU under many guises, but at the moment he is researching microplastics in the stomachs of different fish species around the coast. We have Alex, who's recently joined our section as well, to see what the field trip's about and understand the data that he's going to be using, where it's coming from and how it's collected. You know this is good.
11, 4, 3, 4, 0, 3.
We started in the middle of July, and it's now the middle to end of August, so we've been going for just over a month, and we have a few days left. So unlike the research on the larger fish, we don't have a boat big enough to sail around and live aboard while we're going from site to site. So we have to tow this boat on land from site to site. So we spend a lot of our time driving between locations and getting as many sites as we can when we're in the water. And today on our first trawl, we've collected some plaice. So this one here is probably a new juvenile from this year. It was probably spawned right in the beginning of the year or late last year and floated around in the pelagic as a egg and larvae for a few months before settling out in the spring in these juvenile growth areas, which are right close up next to the coast. And over the summer, they feed up and eat up and get a little bigger, and then they move off to come back again next year as year ones. The first thing is to try and make sure you don't get water down the top of your waders, because that's really uncomfortable. But the rest of it is just maintaining a straight line and trying to keep a constant speed. We have a length of rope which is 100 meters long, so that we can measure out exactly how long we've trawled and we know the area we've covered. Yes, so it's just trawling by hand rather than trawling by the boat. When we use the boat, we have a constant speed and a set time, and that allows us to figure out that we've trawled 100 meters. We also take points on the GPS to verify that distance.
What do you think? Now you've seen DTU Aqua and had like a small look and talked to people out there. What do you think of the environment? What is your impression of the study environment and the open door policy to other researchers?
It's a really nice place, and I have been to the castle, to the DTU Aqua sometimes when we were preparing before this trip, and I could you could see the open doors and talk with the professors. So it seems really nice. So far, I only have a good impression of DTU Aqua.